Make sure you subscribe on all platforms and leave that 5-star review. Let's get it.
You know what I want? I want Luka to the Lakers. I want Jokic to the Knicks. I want all the Europeans to go to all the big markets, to see something incredible. This is what I want. This is my dream.
Yeah. I mean, he's long, he can't move. I can move fast, but I can move faster than him.
Talk about it.
You are now tuned in to Above the Rim. Hoops talk for the streets.
Family, what's good? Welcome back to another edition of Above the Rim. Hoops talk for the streets. You already know how we do, family. Brought to you as always. It's your host, Justin, aka Just Blaze. Family, you know the drill. To get in contact with me, you can always hit me up and follow me on Twitter at JustBlaze_513, on IG at JustBlaze513, on Facebook and YouTube. Search Above the Rim Podcast. Also email the show as well, Above the Rim NBA Podcast at gmail.com. Tap in and leave the family a voicemail. You know the line is always open, 908-718-1592, family. Best way to support the show, as you know, copy your merch. Link is in my bio. Very easy to find. Show some love. I appreciate it, of course, family. You know love is love. Let's get this started. You know what I'm here to talk about. Everybody knows what I'm here to talk about. You talking about it. I'm talking about it. The streets is talking about it. Family, we know what just happened. I can't front. I was speechless just like everybody else. A trade of seismic proportions. Luka Doncic traded to the LA Lakers for Anthony Davis. When I heard the news, I was speechless just like everybody else. I thought Shams was hacked like everybody else. I was up chilling. What time did it come through? About 1 a.m. or something like that, a little bit before maybe. I was up working on a laptop, finishing up some reports, ready to hit the 2K. And damn, I looked at my phone. That alert came through. Luka Doncic traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. Like I said before, a trade of seismic proportions that will have many ripple effects in the NBA across the league, probably for years to come, if we're really looking at it from many angles. Let's think about it, man. This is the first time in NBA history that two reigning all-NBA players were traded for each other mid-season. We know the magnitude of these players. We know the magnitude of this deal. Basically shook up the NBA world when, some say it needed a jolt. Some say it needed something extra in the NBA. And we got it. We got the juice right now. This was a trade. One of many probably trades to come in the next couple of days or so going on in the NBA right now. But let's talk about it. We got to talk about this. I got to talk about this. I came here to talk about Luka Doncic to the Lakers, Anthony Davis to the Mavs, because this is crazy. All right, this is crazy. A 25-year-old franchise superstar traded less than 8 months after leading his team, the Dallas Mavericks, in the NBA Finals while in the prime of his career. A 25-year-old megastar, global superstar. Let me add that too as well. Listen, man, this is days later, and I'm still at a loss for words as for why. Who, what, where, when, and why this happened, Now, listen, I'll start off here when we're talking about this trade. For me personally, I don't care if Luka Doncic is 275 pounds running up and down the court with Twix hidden in his jersey, taking bites on the bench. You don't trade Luka. You don't trade Hookah. I'm telling you right now, in this season, despite only playing 22 games, we know he's been hurt a little bit this season. He's still averaging 28, 8, and 7. That's overweight. A 28, 8, and 7. We talking about Luka Doncic right here. One of the best players in the league, top 5 player in the league, top 5 talent in the league, top 5 MVP candidate in the league, one of the best scorers in the league, clutch gene in the league. One of the spotlight premier players. This is very rare, in a very rare case, as everyone knows, to trade a superstar like this in his prime. Basically, not only trade him, you're giving up on him. Let's be honest here. This is what really happened here. The Dallas Mavericks gave up on Luka Doncic. They decided it was time to move on. They decided he wasn't the franchise star that they wanted. GM Nico Harrison was moving in the shadows, as they said, to finally get this deal to go through with Rob Pelinka, the GM of the Lakers, and they got it done. And what the craziest thing about it all, as we all know, Luka Doncic wasn't opened up to the rest of the league. Nobody else was pretty much allowed to trade for him. Nobody else was allowed to put in their bid for Luka. Nobody even knew he was available. That is the crazy thing about this. And that's what the most suspect thing about this is. Let's be honest here. Why was it only opened up to the Lakers? Why? That remains to be seen, but I'm sure we're going to find out little by little the details of what came out, what really happened behind the scenes. Because listen, when you hear the reasons why they decided to trade Luka, a lot of it was about the conditioning. A lot of it say that he was overweight. He was ballooning up to 270 pounds. Listen, I saw that video of him coming out of the plane in LA. That man didn't look 270 pounds. 270 pounds? That guy? I don't know about that, man. So it sounds like a bunch of excuses to me. It sounds like a little bit of a cop-out to me. But if that's the decision that they made, then that means they felt strongly about the decision that they made. Think about it. You don't make a decision like that not expecting the backlash that comes with it. You know GM Nico Harrison was expecting the backlash that comes with it. And remember, he's of the business world. He morphed into the basketball world. He was a Nike exec before, has a great relationship with a lot of players in the league, great relationship with clearly Nike athletes in the league. And he probably, this is just my opinion here, he probably looked at this as a real business decision to trade Luka Doncic. And that's where the most important factor in all of this comes into play. Money. This was about money, in my opinion. I think this was all about money. We know Luka Doncic was eligible for the Supermax very soon. Over $300 million. We know how these Supermax contracts work in the NBA. You either have to give it to the player or pretty much decide to trade him before he's eligible or right when he's eligible or before he opts out and re-signs. Now listen, there was no indications that Luka didn't want to sign the Supermax extension. All indications were pointing to that he did, especially with the stuff that came out now. It looks like he was going to re-sign there. He may not have been, 1,000% happy. Who knows? We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But it definitely looked like he was going to actually sign the Supermax regardless. And listen, I'll tell you right now, something just doesn't add up here. Something just doesn't add up. In a little bit, I'm going to talk about the Anthony Davis side of things going over there to the Mavs, but we got to focus on the Luka side right now because this is crazy. The Lakers were hand-gifted another star. They were saran-wrapped another star. Not just any star, a generational star in Luka. More importantly, very similar to the star that you have now. Very easy to slot into the same spot as the star you have in right now. Able to play the same exact role as the generational star that you have right now. That's on his way out. Listen, that's a lot of coincidences. Now, sometimes I can be Mr. Conspiracy Theorist. I'll be having myself. I had a lot of episodes before about all the, suspect theories, sometimes. But hey, something doesn't add up, but let's talk about it because it happened already. So now we got to adjust. Now we got to talk about the fit because it's official. It's official tissue. Luka is there. AD is back in Dallas already. Max Christie is over there. So let's talk about it. How will the Luka and LeBron fit work on the floor? Now I'm going to start off by saying this. If you think Luka and LeBron James can't work out, you done lost your mind. You lost your mind. I'm going to tell you right now because great players figure it out. Even if they have too many similarities, great players always figure it out. Now listen, when you look at the Lakers, LeBron needed and needs someone to take the scoring burden off of him. He's been needing someone to take the scoring burden off of him for a while now. And I'm sorry, but AD wasn't that guy. It's not that he can't do it. I just don't think he was well equipped to do that anymore at this stage of his career. AD needs too many things to go right in order for him to dominate the game. Think about it. Too many things he needed to go right to dominate the game. Making sure he's fed early and often. Making sure he's in his right spots. in the beginning of the play and at the end of the play. When he's not battling other centers, getting more fatigued because that's what he didn't want to do, but he has to do it. Clearly, we know he said he wanted to play the 4. He still wanted to play the 4, but it wasn't in the Lakers' best interest to play him at the 4. So he had to play the 5, but clearly he didn't like doing that. He didn't like banging with the centers, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? That maybe isn't his strong suit right now. But in order for him to take the scoring burden off of LeBron, too many things had to go right. And that was too much work, clearly, for the Lakers to do. Let's be honest. Now, when you look at Luka, he doesn't need any of that. We know he can easily take the scoring burden. We know he's getting 30 on a nightly basis, easy, 25 in the sleep, no problem. Triple-double threat every night. Now you have 2 triple-double threats on the same team. And you think this can't work? Trust me, it can. On a lesser, smaller example, look at the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic, Russell Westbrook is working pretty well together right now. 2 triple-double threats, 2 guys that do it all on the floor. This will work the same, but actually better. LeBron James needs to be the secondary ball handler, and that's what he's going to be with Luka Doncic on the team. Because I'll tell you right now, the offense is going to run through Luka. Yes, he's going to have to adjust. Yes, they both can have the ball each and every play, but think about it. When the Lakers are going to now reconstruct this team, they're going to try to make a positionless team. At least attempt to. We don't know if they're going to pull it off, but they're going to at least attempt to make a positionless team because you have 2 large point guards in your lineup. 2 6'8", 2 6'9" point guards who's going to dominate the ball either the entire possession. So think about it. What do you need? You need guys out there who are going to play their role, guys who are going to stand in the corner from time to time, guys who can knock down shots, guys who are going to play defense, guys who are going to play with energy, and guys who are going to play with hustle. That's all you really need around those 2 guys right now. And that's a pretty easy formula to build when we're talking about this team right now. It's very easy for these guys. It's going to be easy for these guys. Yes, they need to fill out the roster. But when you look at the roster, it's okay. It's not great. Now, I don't think the Lakers roster is great at all. But they can compete. The fact that this team can't compete with these 2 guys, to me, is utterly ridiculous. The starting lineup is probably going to be Austin Reeves, Luka, LeBron, Dorian Finney-Smith, and whatever center they are about to pick up. Maybe Tom Lord. They can't really stay with Jackson Hayes and those guys as starting centers. They're going to need to do something a little bit better than that. But let's talk about it right here. The Lakers are better in the... I don't know if I can say the short term right now. The Lakers are better. They're definitely better in the long term, but who knows if they're better in the short term right now. And listen, when you think about all the parameters of this trade, the Lakers basically have freed themselves from the shackles of clutch sports right now. They've got their star for the future. They'll gift wrap their generational star for the future right now. And let's remember, the NBA is a relationship business. And basically, the relationship between Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks basically soured at this point. We don't know why. We may know in time, but we don't know right now. But there are plenty of lessons to be learned here. People will tolerate you until they can replace you. Think about that. Now, let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks Anthony Davis side of the trade. Now, let me say this. I'm no Anthony Davis apologist in the slightest, but he's getting a raw deal here right now. The disrespect that's been put on Anthony Davis' name right now is out of control. ESPN gave this man a grade. The Mavs trade an F. They graded this trade an F. That's utterly ridiculous. People are talking about Anthony Davis like he's George Murison, like he's Oliver Miller, like he's Eric Dampier, like he's Jerome James, like he's the Candy Man, Michael Olowokandi. Give me a break. This man is a champion, a top 575 player in NBA history, and he could get you 25 and 12 in the sleep. We're talking about Anthony Davis right here. Stop trying to play. Stop trying to talk like this man won't do damage on the floor when healthy. Now, of course, you're going to say, when is he ever healthy? He's healthy sometimes. He's definitely healthy sometimes. It's when he's on the floor, he's an impact player. So stop talking about this trade like they traded Luka for a beignet. Come on. let's be serious right here. We're talking about Anthony Davis. So the Mavericks came out great in this trade also as well. Now, I know the timeline is a little bit different, but like I said, the NBA is a business, and clearly they weren't in the Luka business anymore, and the Mavericks didn't want to be in the Luka business anymore. And that could be for a variety of reasons that we don't need to speculate because they already made a decision. So when we look at the fit for Anthony Davis on the Mavs, I like it. They're much better in the short term, clearly. They're much better defensively. The defensive fit is nice. Very nice. Anthony Davis can finally play the 4 again and where he's more comfortable, and maybe he will thrive in that role. Probably. That remains to be seen, but we will see. But I'll tell you right now, the Mavs needed to get better on defense. Jason Kidd is a quote-unquote defensive-minded coach at times, and he likes to play defense, so we'll see if they can upgrade their roster. But actually, their roster is all right when you look at it right now. One thing I worry about this Mavs team moving forward is the playmaking on this team. Now, listen, I know Kyrie, ultimate playmaker for himself, but now he's going to have to playmake a lot more for his teammates. And not only Kyrie Irving, they're going to need Spencer Dinwiddie to step up. Now, he's the backup point guard, Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie has to come up pretty big for this team, if we're being honest, because if we're talking about Kyrie, he likes to play 2. So Spencer Dinwiddie's going to be getting a lot of minutes in this lineup, and a lot of pressure will now, a lot of the playmaking pressure is going to be on Kyrie Irving and Spencer Dinwiddie to really step up. But when you look at the Mavs rotation, it's all right to me. I like it. Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, of course. You could go any center there. Spencer Dinwiddie, like I said before. Max Christie, they picking up. You know, he could get some quality minutes off the bench. Quentin Grimes, I like. He plays very well. Najee Marshall, a defensive-minded guy, wing. I like the lineup. They have a lot of defensive versatility for the Mavs. Now, listen, what does success look like for both teams? Success is important right now for both teams, clearly, in the short term and in the long term, because they both have to justify this deal to their fan base. For the Mavs, it's got to be a championship, right? It's got to be. And I only say that because they have already reached the mountaintop last season with Luka Doncic getting to the finals, but they didn't get the job done. Now they have to replicate that or better, pretty much, to basically justify this trade. And I'm sure they all know that, and they're going to do it to their best abilities to try. Now, I don't know if they will. I think there are a couple of teams better than them in the West, in my opinion, but they're definitely formidable. They're definitely going to be up there. I think it's semifinals minimum for the Dallas Mavericks. We'll see if they can get past there. And listen, you know, the championship window is very short right now. It's about 2-3 years pretty much that AD has left in his prime years. So they clearly have to maximize this opportunity. And success for the Lakers in the short term, I'm not looking for them to win a title right now. I didn't think they were good enough before. I don't think they're good enough now. Let's see what type of center they're going to pick up. But clearly they have to make the playoffs. It would be nice if they win around. It's going to be electric regardless in crypto. So really, there's not much expectations on the Lakers right now. I'll be honest with you. There's not much expectations except to win a couple games. And I think they're going to do that, get into the playoffs. I think they're going to do that and put up a fight in the playoffs, which I think they're going to do. So I think the expectation for the Lakers are, you know, house money. But I love the deal. I'm mad that they got him. But I love the deal for the Lakers. I'm a basketball guy more than anything else, and I love the deal for the Lakers. I actually like the deal for both teams, but I wouldn't have done that trade if I'm the Mavs. I'll put it that way. I'll be honest. And there's a lot more about the basketball fit to come there. I got to talk about the other big-time deal also in the NBA. De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs, Zach LaVine to the Kings, Kevin Huerter, Red Velvet, to the Chicago Bulls. They also picked up Zach Collins as well. Listen, this was a 3-team big-time deal right here. Big-time deal right here. Listen, I'll tell you right now, didn't I tell y'all about those Spurs? Didn't I come over here in the last episode? You don't have to scroll too much far down. Look at the last episode. Didn't I tell y'all about those Spurs? Spurs are coming. I told y'all they will make it a playoff. They're definitely going to do that. Now with De'Aaron Fox, let's talk about the fit, because the fit here is undeniable. The fit here is unbelievable. It's going to be seamless. De'Aaron Fox fits right in. You know why? Because he brings to the table what the Spurs needed most. Speed. The Spurs needed speed in their backcourt. The Spurs needed speed on their wing. The Spurs needed to upgrade their fast break points. And they will definitely do that. The Spurs needed to push the pace. If I'm being honest, their team was pretty slow. Wemby, love Wemby, but he's a little slow at times. Harrison Barnes, he can be slow at times. Chris Paul, we know he plays slow. Vassell plays slow. Keldon Johnson, medium speed. Think about it. I'm telling you, the Spurs were one of the slowest. I can't remember if they're one of the slowest pace teams, but I know they prefer to play a slow pace. De'Aaron Fox will increase the pace, and that's what they need. They need easy baskets. They need easy points. They need a guy that's going to guaranteed get you 20 a night, because that's what they were missing. And most important thing about it all, they didn't have to give up any foundational pieces to get Swiper Fox. They kept both their 2025 picks. They kept Vassell. They kept Sohan. They kept Stephon Castle, which is a rookie of the year candidate, top 2, top 3 in the league. This was a slam dunk, ridiculously fleece trade for the San Antonio Spurs. They fleeced the Kings. Clutch Sports at it again. Rich Paul at it again. Made sure that happened. I don't feel like I even need to tell you how much this is a fit, because I feel like it's so easy to see. And for all the people that's thinking Chris Paul's coming off the bench, that's not happening. It's going to be Chris Paul starting, De'Aaron Fox right next to him, probably Vassell at the 3, Harrison Barnes or Sohan. I'm going to probably go with Harrison Barnes because they may go with the veteran presence. They're probably going to swap over sometimes. And Wemby, of course. Let's not talk about Wemby. I'm going to have a whole nother episode, some more time to just dive into what I've been seeing, because, I got a lot of things to talk about, but what I've been seeing, I've been going for a while. I just wanted to come up here and talk about these trades real quick. When we talk about the Kings side of things, that's also a little bit crazy, because now Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan are teaming up again. I know it really wasn't to their doing, but it's just awkward and strange. Are they going to try that same pair in Sacramento, or are they going to try to move DeMar DeRozan? Who knows? But if they're trying to this pairing again, why would you think it would work in the West if it didn't work in the East, which was much easier? Yes, they have a better big in Sabonis. Yes, they have a couple more better pieces around them. Malik Monk, Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray, guys like that. But they're going to score the ball, but I don't know how much they're going to win. Sacramento might move out of I still think they're going to be in a play-in race because the West is so stacked, but I just don't like the pair, and I think they're going to have to make another move, which I think they will. And on the Bulls side of things, this was clearly just a salary move. They're moving in another direction. I'm going to talk about them also as well, but they're moving in another direction. They're going to more of a youth movement. They want to tank a little bit for the rest of the season, and that's okay because they are stuck in purgatory. So they started to play well early in the season. They tailed off a little bit. They got some pieces there to work with, Kobe White and those boys, and they need to restart. So the only way to do it, they had to reset the table, with Zach LaVine. That's just how it is. But I just wanted to come on here real quick, talk about these two major blockbuster deals. I'm going to come with another episode very shortly, very soon after that. The trade deadline is about to be here right now, so I didn't want to give it all away. I'm going to be back soon. But listen, blockbuster trades in the NBA. I couldn't say anything more. For all those who thought the NBA is dead, the NBA is back. The NBA is back. Family, I appreciate you for joining me once again. Appreciate you for sticking it out with me while this last few times while the episodes haven't been here, but I'm back. I'm here now. Thank you for joining me for another episode. This is episode 228, family, and we out.